Hey guys, Paradoxio here. Welcome back to a brand new video, everyone. This is part 4 of our game development series in Python, where we use Pygame to build ourselves a very simple two-dimensional game. Now, where we left off on last episode was just setting some boundaries for our player, so that way whenever we run the game, we cannot go off screen. So that way we are confined within our window. This episode we're going to be doing something fairly similar. We're going to be setting up some boundaries for other objects. What I mean by that is we're going to be implementing collision detection in this game. Basically what collision detection is a system where we can detect when our player is colliding with another object in our game, or when two other objects collide with each other in our game. Now, where do we use collision detection? Well, it really depends on the game you're making. If you're making a shooting game, whether it's like Space Invaders or something else, maybe we really want our enemy or our player to take damage when they are hit by a projectile. And that's where we would use collision detection. Maybe we want to set up walls or set up objects that we do not want to be able to collide with. So really, there's a lot of different things we can use collision detection for. And I'm going to show you guys how we could set something up like that. And it's fairly simple. And really, it just involves setting up a single if statement. But before we get started here, I want to just show you guys all this code is relatively the same. The only thing I did change was my FPS to be 300 and my player speed to be 1, where it was 60 and 5 before. Reason I did this is just because I want my game to feel a little bit smoother and keep my player going the same speed as before. So, where we left off was just setting up boundaries. Basically, the way we're going to set up collision detection is a little bit similar, but if I navigate to Pygame's official documentation under the rect object, we actually have a method that does this for us called collideRect. And there's also other collision methods, but collideRect is the most important, especially if we plan on implementing collision detection between characters, whether it's our player or an NPC or a enemy. And the reason for that is because you are more likely going to implement hitboxes to those things. So that way, if we are throwing projectiles at them, they might take damage or it might alter their state. collideRect is going to be the easiest way we can achieve that, because players have hitboxes surrounding them that are invisible, and we can use those hitboxes to detect collisions. So this is the method we're going to use here, collideRect. Now let's go ahead and exit out of that. And the first thing we need to do is we need to set our character here. We need to actually set it to a variable or assign it to one, and we can call this player for now. Now, later on in the series, I do plan to make this in a more object-oriented approach. So do expect this to change again later on. But for now, let's just set it equal to player. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create another rect for an object that our player can collide with. So we're going to call this rect1, and we can just set it equal to pygame.draw.rect. And we're going to pass in window, and then the color, which I only have blue, but I'm going to put in two more colors here, green and red, which are just pure green and red colors. And I'm going to make this green, and then I want this to spawn at 400, 400, which is going to be the bottom right side of our screen. And then I want to just make it 50 by 50 pixels, just to be the same size as our player. Now, if I go ahead and run this game, whoops, as you see, our square pops up right here, but we need to go ahead and implement the collision detection, so when I overlap with it, something can happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and close these real quick because they're not really necessary at the moment. And what I can do is I can come over here and I can type in if player dot collide rect, and the only argument this really takes in is the actual rect that we want to set up our collision detection with, which would be rect 1. And all we have to do is we can just do something simple like print collision detected. Now, if I were to go ahead and open this in my file explorer and open it in the terminal, I can type in python main.py and just run my game over here. And now, whenever I move, just pay attention to the console when I start to overlap with this green square. As you can see, it is detecting a collision with this green square and my player. And when it does, it'll print out collision detected in my terminal. So that means our collision detection system is working fairly nice. But let's have a little bit of fun here. I want to change something about this rect 1 that we are colliding with. Well, we can change the color of it simply by coming outside of our while loop at the top, creating a variable, calling its current color, and we can set it to a color by default, which is going to be green because that's what I want rect 1 to be. And we can just set current color down here. And instead of typing in print collision detection or detected, we can just set the current color to be red. Now, if I run this game again and I hit it, it changes the color to red. But usually in most games where we're using colors to show that damage was taken, it changes back to its original color afterwards. So I would need to put in an else statement here and set the current color back to green. And now, if I overlap with this green square, it turns red. And it'll turn red for as long as I'm touching it. So, pretty neat. We just got ourselves a simple collision detection set up. Now, what might you use this for? Well, pretty much the same things I mentioned at the start of the video. If you're making a game where you can shoot projectiles at enemies, or enemies can shoot projectiles at you, we would want to set up some sort of collision detection system to detect when those projectiles hit you or your enemy that you are firing at. And if they collide, then we want damage to be taken from them respectively. We could also set up walls, and we could make it to where a player cannot pass by just simply stopping the movement inside of our if player.collideRect statement here. So this is fairly easy. Not much code at all. At simplest, it's like 3 lines, depending on what you really want to do when a collision is detected. And it was pretty easy. Now, keep in mind if you have more than one rect that you can collide with, you will need to go ahead and create another if statement for that rect for now. But eventually, when we approach this in a more object-orientated manner, that would not longer be the case, and we could simplify our code even more from there, and we can optimize it and allow for better maintainability as we develop our game. But that's all for this video. Probably one of the shortest Pygame tutorials other than part 2 or 3, I believe. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you would like to see more from this series, be sure to let me know in the comments. Tell me if you guys like it, and if you do, I will continue to upload to it. If you haven't already joined my Discord server, we are nearing 1,000 members. And also stay tuned for my official website to get through its major overhaul, where you can create yourself a free account, open forums, upload files, etc. Let's, without further ado, guys, you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.